Hey y'all, it's your Missniecytv, and I'm here to do a review for Sistas Season 9, Episode 12. The episode picks up and Danny and Sabrina are still at the restaurant trying to decipher what Aaron is telling them that the note says that Karen left. And Sabrina's like, you don't think she tried to delete herself, do you? Danny's like, don't think like that. So they're going through all the scenarios that could possibly happen. And Danny's like, even though Karen's missing, don't think I forgot that you slept with my cousin. Sabrina's like, can we not focus on that right now and worry about Karen? Sabrina, this is exactly what you get for trying to have a whole face, knowing that it wasn't for you, and now it backfired on you, and now you slept with Danny's cousin. Over at Andy's, we see Gary coming over there, and Andy's like, what are you doing here? And Gary's like, your doorman let me up, you told me I could come up. Andy's like, that's because I thought you were my food delivery. Gary's like, look, I'm just here to talk to you. No threats, no blackmail, no nothing. Just a simple conversation. Andy tries to put up a fight about not having the conversation, but they eventually have the conversation, and Gary's like, I just want to apologize for everything I put you through. You've been through a lot with me, and it was mostly my fault, and I just want to apologize. And I hope that one day, we could be friends, because when I look back over our lives was beautiful together. Please tell me what was beautiful about it besides y'all getting down every episode. Other than that, there was nothing beautiful. You put this lady through so many traumatic experiences and so much stress, and not saying that Andy didn't have a part to play in it. It was to a point that you had Andy believing y'all delusions that y'all relationship was beautiful because she was going around telling her friends that the relationship was beautiful and he's so good to me. I'm glad that Andy did stand up for herself and tell Gary how she felt, and Gary's like, I'm not even that person anymore. After the whole Hudson and Jasmine situation, I went to go get therapy, and that's been helping me out, and I'm a completely different person. The old Gary is gone. He's like, this conversation was more of an apology and a farewell, and Andy's like, a farewell? Gary's like, yeah, because I'm moving to Ghana in 2 days, and I just wanted to say bye. I'm like, do y'all really believe that Gary's moving to Ghana? No. Do you think he actually went to therapy? I kind of did. But I'm glad that Andy got the apology that she needed so that she could finally move on with her life and to close that Gary chapter. Do I think it's closed completely? No, I don't. Right, Zach and Fatima's trash shows up there, and of course Zach and Fatima are outside because Zach followed her outside. So Zach is going back and forth with Chaz, and eventually they stop going back and forth, and Fatima has a chance to ask Chaz what he's doing here, and Chaz is like, I just came to check on you because after our last conversation you seemed like something was wrong, so I did check on you. Fatima's like, yeah, because you're sending expensive gifts to my house knowing that I got a man, and Zach is like co-signing her, like, tell him, and Fatima's like, I know you're not talking because you sat there and really took a meeting with him just to fight. Fatima, one thing you don't do is reprimand your man in front of another man. You wait till y'all in the privacy of your home to do it. Especially if it's in front of a man that likes you and has underlining feelings for you. Because he's going to feel like he could sneak in and try to break up what y'all have. Chaz is like, you know what, since the bag is causing y'all a lot of problems, I'll just take the bag back. And Zach is basically like, gladly. So he goes in the house to grab the bag, and then that's when Fatima has a conversation with Chaz. And Chaz is basically like, you know, I like it. Fatima's like, you can't like me because I have a man, and what we have is strictly professional, and we need to keep it that way. Fatima, you wasn't saying that when he was sending you all them flowers and bought you that purse, now were you? You're just mad now because he showed up to the house. If you really felt like you should have just kept it professional and you didn't like the attention you was getting, you would have shut that down the moment that you received the first flower. I love Fatima down to the ground, but she was definitely wrong in this situation, and I don't blame Zach for how he was acting at all. So Zach comes out the house with the bag and he throws it on Chaz, and that's when the security guard comes out the car. He flashes the blicky, and Zach is like, that's supposed to scare me, I got one in the house. The situation de-escalates, and Chaz and the security guard leave, and Fatima and Zach are just out there talking. Zach is like, how does he know where I live? Fatima's like, well, he's a basketball player. They could find out that type of information. Zach calls their house his house. You know how Fatima feels about that. She gets in her feelings, and Zach is like, it's just semantics, but you can go back in the house now because you're my woman and you're not going anywhere. Fatima's like, you really think I want to go back in there with you after we were just arguing in there? And stop talking to me because your breath stinks. And Zach is like, my breath doesn't smell that bad, but Zach, yeah, you do. Over at Maurice's, he's cleaning up for his date with Paige's brother Dylan. He's, of course, nervous because he's never dated a white man before, so he's going through all these historical facts, and he's like, am I to help? Then he does, I am kind, I am smart, I is important. I'm like, Maurice, be for real. Dylan shows up, they have a nice conversation, he winds up kissing Dylan, they wind up doing the vision boards, they talk about their future a little bit. I'm like, oh, Maurice and Dylan would be cute together. I really want to see how Maurice and Dylan's relationship would turn out if they eventually do get together. We're at Karen's, we see Pam, Lisa, and Aaron talking, and they're all like, has Karen called yet? Pam is like, no. Pam was like, I'm just trying to be optimistic. Everything's going to be alright. She's going to be fine. Aaron's like, how do you know that? Miss Lisa and Aaron said that they're going to go check again just to make sure. And Aaron's like, okay, because the girls are supposed to come. Andy and Sabrina eventually get over there. They talk to Pam. They're like, has she called? Has she shown up? Pam is like, no. So Sabrina's like, let me call Andy and see if she answers. So they eventually call Andy. She doesn't answer. So Danny's like, I'm going to pop over there. But first, Danny tells Pam to check Karen's social media to see if she left a clue like anybody's post or anything. I'm like, Danny, I know that. So when the girls leave, Pam is like, I'm going to do all that, but first I'm going to order me some food. And she orders some wings. And I'm like, Pam, I know that's right, because I can't think right when I'm hungry either. So after everybody leaves, Miss Lisa and Aaron are having a conversation, and Aaron's like, do you think she hurt herself? Do you think she hurt the baby? Miss Lisa's not trying to hear all that. She's like, Karen would never do that. Aaron's the only one that's thinking about the parental aspect of this, about how Faith is eating, how Faith is doing. Once again, Miss Lisa's not trying to hear all that because she's trying to remain optimistic. Aaron's like, do you think we should call the police? Miss Lisa's like, we don't need to do that. She'll be back. Aaron's the only one that's thinking logic. Back over at Andy's, this is when Danny shows up to tell her about the stuff that's going on with Karen and the baby, right? But she's too puzzled because she sees Andy and Gary talking, and she's like, I know not. Andy, you're smarter than this. Why is this man in your house? Andy's like, he just came over to apologize. I can explain. And Gary's like, if it's any consolation, I would like to apologize to you, too. Danny doesn't want to hear a thing this man has to say. She even tried to hit him with the vase, but Andy had to stop her. And Gary's like, you know what? I'm gone. And the look on Andy's face, like, she was very sad that Gary's leaving. Girl, I wouldn't be sad. I'd be jumping. So after Gary leaves, Andy tries to sit down with Danny and explain herself, but then she realizes that she doesn't have to explain herself, and she is glad that she talked to Gary because she wanted to talk to Gary. She got the closure that she needed. Danny is like, why are you even talking to this man? Andy's like, so you want me to hate him for the rest of my life? Danny's like, yeah. Danny's like, since you're so focused on Gary right now, I guess I should tell you that Karen and the baby are missing. And Andy's like, what? Danny's like, yeah, we've been trying to call you, but you've been too focused on Gary. You always choose men over your friend. Danny's like, don't think we haven't caught you in the lies either, that you left Karen's house to go talk to Dr. Vaughn. Andy's like, what? She didn't expect nobody to know that. But Danny's like, yeah, we know. We know that you're effing Dr. Vaughn. Andy's like, I'm not effing Dr. Vaughn. We were just talking and it was a meeting. Andy's like, you know what, I don't have to explain. And he's like, you know what, you're right. It's your life. You can live it the way you want to. And then they get back on the whole conversation about Karen and the baby. And Andy's like, I have a few officers that I can call. Danny's like, of course you do. Andy's like, what is this whole jealousy thing? Danny's like, I knew you were narcissistic, which is very true. And I'm glad that somebody called Andy out on this. Danny's like, in no way, shape, or form am I jealous of you, right? So Danny didn't want to cuss her out for it because she knew that she could. So she's like, you know what? I'm gonna leave. Danny's like, you know what? I'm actually going to a place where people care about Karen. Andy's like, I'm coming too. Danny's like, you can come, but drive your own car. They fight over the elevator. And I'm like, this whole situation with Karen in general, not even the missing, it's just bringing up everybody's true colors. Over at Zach and Fatima, some time passes. And Zach is sleeping on the couch for the night because that's where Fatima put him. And as he's getting ready for bed, he gets a call from Aaron that Karen's missing. And of course, Zach has to run over there. And Zach, y'all literally just had a conversation about y'all not communicating with each other and how y'all need to do better, and this is not how y'all communicate, but you're not communicating with her that Karen is missing, and Aaron called you over there. Over at Karen's, Miss Lisa and Aaron finally decided to call the police. Miss Lisa's on the phone with police, giving them a description of Karen, saying what she's wearing, and Aaron's like, let them know we could send a picture of her and Faith. Like, finally, somebody's actually using their logical brains. How many hours has it been since Karen turned missing? Y'all finally decided to call the police. So Miss Lisa's on the phone with the police. Aaron gets a knock on the door, and it's Zach. Zach is like, hello to you, too. Aaron's like, I thought it was Karen. My bad. They sit down, and they get to talk, and Aaron's like, you had a rough night, didn't you? Zach is like, what you mean? Aaron's like, you smell like a bar. Zach is like, it's that bad? So he checks his breath and everything. Zach is like, well, me and Fatima are going through something, but that's not why I'm here. Aaron gives Zach the rundown about everything that's going on, and he lets Zach read the note, and Zach is trying to decipher what it means, and Aaron's like, you don't think it has something to do with you, do you? Zach is like, no, me and Karen closed that chapter a while ago. Aaron's like, she might be at the cemetery. Zach is like, what would she be at the cemetery for? Forever. So they buried forever, and we didn't get to see that, but okay. So they have a conversation back and forth. Zach is trying to console Aaron that everything's gonna be okay. Inside of Karen's, Danny and Sabrina are just standing there looking for Karen, seeing if she's gonna pop up anywhere. And that's when Andy walks up and she's like, Karen Carr's still here. And of course, Danny is still being petty with Andy because of what happened earlier. That's when she gets a call from Dr. Vaughn. Sabrina tells her to put it on speakerphone. Dr. Vaughn is like, how yourself, get your night going. Danny has the nerve to say it was interrupted by her. Andy quickly tries to switch the conversation to Karen. She asks Dr. Vaughn, has he heard anything from Karen? I'm like, the whole thing about the whole Karen situation is you should have told this man that she left a note. And it's not a good note at all. Dr. Vaughn basically tells him that he can't say anything because of HIPAA laws, and Danny's like, well, you know help. Over at Zach and Fatima's in the bed because she can't sleep without Zach because she put him on the couch. As she's tossing and turning, she gets a call from an unknown number, so she answers it, and it's Karen. Keep in mind that Fatima knows nothing about what's going on, so all she knows is that Karen's calling her in the middle of the night. I'm like, it's funny how Karen calls Fatima first out of all her sister circle, and how is that the number that she memorizes? Because remember, Karen doesn't have her phone on her. Is Fatima like everybody's personal 911 or something? But let me know what you guys think about the episode. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn your bell notifications. Bye!